Summer is finally here. Cue the sandals and the sunshine, but if you're anything like most teachers I talk to, you're caught in a little bit of a tug of war between collapsing on the couch and color coding your fall plans. Well, today we're tackling how you can actually recover over the summer and get excited for the fall. And the answer might not be what you expect. If you're tired of starting each new school year, still carrying that last year's burnout, this episode is really your gentle nudge to do things a little bit differently. We're going to talk about how to make this summer feel restorative and productive without sacrificing your sanity. I'm going to share with you 3 powerful ways to reset this summer without burning out again. Hey friends, welcome to Enjoy Teaching Again, the podcast for teachers who love the work but need a little spark to bring the joy back. I'm your host, Elizabeth Peterson, classroom teacher, arts integration specialist, and passionate educator of over 25 years. If you're overwhelmed by behaviors, disengaged students, and long, exhausting days, you are not alone. But together, we can turn things around and you can teach with confidence and purpose again. So locate that cold coffee of yours, find your favorite pen, I know you have one, and let's dive in. It's time to get inspired and enjoy teaching again. Teacher friend, have you ever felt like you're stuck in a never-ending game of whack-a-mole, constantly managing behaviors, grading papers, chasing expectations, all while the joy of teaching feels like it's slipping through your fingers? I know you're tired of being the one who has to figure it all out. The classroom management, student behavior, engagement, and still somehow you just want to enjoy what you love, teaching. I know you're tired of feeling like the chaos is winning. You want a classroom that feels calm, creative, and dare I say, fun. Yes, it is okay to have fun in your classroom. You deserve a place where you actually look forward to walking through the door each morning. Inside the Classroom Reset, my brand new group coaching program, you'll find the tools, the strategies, and the support that you need to refresh, rejuvenate, and yes, reset your teaching and feel like your best teacher self again. Enrollment for this amazing group coaching program is open for the next week at an unbelievable early bird price. When you join, you will be amazed about how classroom management, student engagement, and social emotional skills all start to come together with a splash of creativity, all while keeping things focused on you, the teacher. Join me now at theinspiredclassroom.com/reset. That's theinspiredclassroom.com/RESET. And let's hit that reset button together. Years ago, I made it a point, maybe even a rule, that once summer hit, I completely shut down everything and anything that was school related. No emails, no planning, no texting teacher friends about ideas. I put the school bag in the closet and locked the door. I didn't even think about my classroom. I wanted to focus on my personal life, my kids, the things that I wanted to do. And I saw it as setting boundaries. I thought it was a healthy way to set boundaries. And honestly, I still think that part is so important. There's nothing wrong with stepping away completely if that's what you need. But the problem is that when the new school year would begin, I was starting from the same place that I left in June. It was like I never really left. The same curriculum issues, the same icky vibe, my own same feelings that were lingering from the year before. I realized that while my intention was to rest during the summer, I came back feeling like it just didn't change a thing for myself for my new school year. And I was headed into another year of survival. Have you been there before? Where the new school year isn't full of opportunity, but instead it's full of the same old, same old. What I've learned since then is that it's not just about turning school off completely, it's about finding that right balance. Just like with so much of our life, right? Keeping some kind of connection to the profession that I truly love in joyful ways actually helps me come back in the fall feeling more inspired and lighter, not drained or defeated before the year has even begun. Now, this is where those teacher retreats that I used to host came in. I created those face-to-face summer retreats because I knew that teachers needed time to reset. But we also needed time to get inspired, to explore, to reconnect with our creativity, to be around other like-minded teachers who just get it. And while I don't host those retreats anymore, that idea of making time in the summer for meaningful, rejuvenating professional connection has stayed with me, which is why I created the Classroom Reset, because teachers still deserve that space. Here's the thing. Reset is absolutely essential. And you need it. And that's, I feel like, why we still have summers for teachers, right? Our nervous systems, our bodies, your heart, your emotions, they all need time off. But rest without some reflection and thinking about how to reset often just delays the burnout. And if you just go back to school in the fall and haven't had a chance to really refresh your professional self, well, that can just pull you back into the same survival cycle for yet another school year. And nobody wants that. So what's the answer? Well, the truth is it's not an either or. You don't have to choose a complete break from school or a summer filled with professional development. Instead, when you do each of these things with some purpose in a way that honors you, you create the kind of summer that actually takes care of you and prepares you emotionally and mentally, even creatively, for the next school year. So here are 3 simple steps that you can take this summer to balance rest with resetting for the next school year. The first simple step is to think about your morning routine. Now, we all have a morning routine, whether it's productive or not, right? I've had some pretty unproductive morning routines where I just kind of like roll out of bed, get in the shower, and barely make it to the car to get to school on time. But over the years, I've been able to finesse a little bit better of a morning routine that actually serves me and helps me to be more productive and ready for the day. Regardless of whether you roll out of bed or wake up and do a mile run, undoubtedly, your morning routine in the summer is going to be a little bit different than it was during the school year. Now, getting up early in the morning may seem like a chore for some of you listening, and others may actually love this idea. But setting aside some time in the morning, maybe even perhaps before the rest of your household gets up, can be such a gift. And then what you do with this morning time is up to you to decide. I started doing this during the school year, and it has made such an amazing impact on my life. And my plan is to continue a similar morning routine during my summer as well. Sticking to some kind of schedule in the summer is actually quite helpful for me, and it may be for you too. So consider setting aside 30 minutes to an hour of your morning just for you. Maybe do some movement or exercise, and then do some journaling or reading. I'll tell you what has actually worked for me that I started recently. After getting up and feeding the cats and starting the coffee, I'll go to my living room and put on a YouTube walking video. Have you seen these? As far as my YouTube and my Facebook feeds go, it seems like the walking seems to be the new rage for like my aged woman, which I'm not going to reveal to you. But anyway, there are so many free indoor walking and other exercise videos as well on YouTube, and it's something that is low impact and just gets me moving. And I can pick a video that's like 10 minutes or 20 minutes or really whatever I want. And then after that, I spend some time in prayer and reflection and journaling. Now, I was never one to really journal, well, except when I was in 5th grade and kept a crazy diary of all the drama and the boys and all that good stuff that goes with 5th grade. But I've learned to add it to my morning prayer time. It's been amazing. And if you actually want to hear more about that, you can let me know by emailing me or sending me a DM on Instagram. And then what I do is I spend some time working on the Inspired Classroom stuff. So coming up with podcast episodes, emailing, responding to teachers who are asking questions, checking in on my SEAL teachers. And of course, for the last few weeks, I've been working so hard on creating this amazing new group coaching program, the Classroom Reset. And all of this is done by 7:30 in the morning. That's the kind of routine I actually want to continue into the summertime so that I can feel like I've accomplished something, and then I can spend the rest of my day with my family and doing some other things that I just really want to accomplish during the summer. And the morning routine truly sets me up for that. So what could be in your morning routine this summer? Maybe you get yourself to the gym or find a video on YouTube that fits your needs. Maybe you take your dog for a walk or you spend some time reading. It could be as easy as journaling for 5 minutes while sipping your coffee, or reflecting on things that are important to you, or sitting outside with your cup of coffee and just enjoying the day. Brainstorming things that you want to do during the day, or even just getting yourselves organized. This is a moment where you can be in quiet, perhaps even say a prayer, ask for the peace that you want to carry yourself through the summer, the strength that you need in the fall, and even the patience that you want to bring into your classroom. Speaking your desires aloud or writing them down really helps you name what matters most, and so you can focus in on those things. And I encourage you to use some of your morning time this summer to really get each day off to a great start. Now, here's the second big thing that you can do to help yourself with the summer, and that is to set 3 big intentions for the summer. Now, thinking about how you've created some space for your morning routine, right, for some quiet reflection, let's talk about what that time can actually help you do. And that is setting your big summer intentions. These aren't resolutions or rigid goals. They're meaningful and they're personal. They are the things that you want to accomplish, the things that kind of give your summer some structure, but also some purpose. I like to choose 3 big things that I want to focus in on each summer. And these can be personal, practical, or just plain fun. For example, one of mine is always a family vacation. One year we went to Niagara Falls on the Canada side. I totally suggest doing it that way, by the way, if you want to go visit Niagara Falls. So much fun on the Canada side. Last summer, it was a major trip to Italy, which was amazing trip. And this year, we're keeping it very simple. We're doing a 3.5-hour drive up to Bar Harbor, Maine for some fun. And boy, I'm telling you, with the weather and how it's been over here up in New England, it better be sunny while we're there, because we've got some hiking planned and just some really good family time together. And that's the point for me for these family vacations, is to have some quality family time somewhere different from home where we are stuck together, like we have to have some time together. Another big intention that I revisit most summers is decluttering. This year, I am determined to tackle our attic and do a solid sweep of my home office. Those are my 2 main areas. I just really want to roll my sleeves up and declutter as much as I can. And my 3rd big intention, well, that's girlfriend time. I already have a few plans in motion. I'm going to see Air Supply with a couple of my teacher besties. I want to make sure I have dinner with my good friend from elementary school. We haven't done that for, a couple of years now, and that's high on my priority list. And I also want to hang out with a couple of my mom friends that live in town and just splurge on a little margarita queso fun. Now, the idea behind the big 3 intentions is not just about doing it all. It's about naming what really matters most and being intentional about it. So what are your 3 things? Maybe it's finally reading that stack of novels, or maybe trying watercolor painting, right? Or doing some home projects that you've just had on your mind, or just giving yourself permission to slow down and say no more often. See, whatever they are, the key is to write them down. And that's where this morning routine and the 3 big intentions kind of play into each other, right? You say them out loud, you make them part of your morning reflection, and you can revisit them regularly. You're far more likely to bring them to life when you do that, and to finish the summer feeling fulfilled instead of frazzled. How many summers have I gotten to the end of the summer and I'm like, oh my gosh, I wanted to do this and this and this and this and this. Undoubtedly, that's going to be happening again, because let's face it, regardless of the 3 big intentions, I'm going to have a huge to-do list. But as long as I get these 3 big things in, I'm going to feel like I've accomplished what I want to accomplish this summer. Whether it's exploring a new art form for you or diving into a podcast about creativity and teaching. By the way, have you subscribed yet? Make sure you do that, okay? Or maybe you're sketching out a vision board for your classroom vibe. I want you to think about how you can choose some low pressure way to really awaken what it is you desire and use this summer to really get some of those big intentions completed for yourself. And now the third thing, all right? I want you to be thinking about a little bit of your school, because we can't ignore the upcoming school year during the summer. Even if you don't want to think about school until the second you walk in on your first day in August or September, you and I both know that the school year sneaks into your thoughts. It does it randomly, it does it persistently, and it does it all through the summer months, right? So what if instead of letting it hover over you like a dark cloud, you took the reins and decided that you're going to spend a certain intentional amount of time actually thinking about how your new school year is going to begin? You know, what can this do for you? Well, it can actually help a lot. You might even consider penciling in a day or maybe a couple of cozy rainy afternoons where you sit down and you make a light plan for your first days or your first weeks of school. Think about what routines you might keep, what community builders worked well last year, what you might want to change. This doesn't have to be about lesson planning and scope and sequence. This is about designing that feeling or the vibe and a connection that will set the tone for your year. And this is the type of reflecting and planning that you do when you join me inside the Classroom Reset. You'll have the perfect support system to walk through those decisions with encouragement and creativity and community. This group coaching experience is where we take those thoughts, those hopes, those half-formed ideas and turn them into classroom culture gold. I want your first week of school to actually feel fun and enjoyable again. And let's face it, it's not just about making those simple tweaks and adjustments. It's resetting the important parts of your classroom that are going to make the biggest impact on student behavior, student engagement, building their social emotional skills for the classroom, and maybe most importantly, your enjoyment in the classroom. And remember, you can enroll this week at the early bird discount when you go to theinspiredclassroom.com/reset. So what are some of the things that you can do when you block off a day or two during your summer to really focus in on how you're going to start the new year? Well, whether you know your schedule or not, there are so many small things that you can do to increase student engagement. One of the things that we'll focus on inside the Classroom Reset is how to introduce creativity, creative thinking, and play into the content that you teach, as well as having things like little creative challenges, on a rolling basis that kind of just take less than 5 minutes. I started doing some of these creative challenges with my own students at the beginning of our class time, and they were just so much fun. And it just got everyone settled and ready for the upcoming lesson. One of my favorites is taking like a random object from the classroom and then asking the students, what's another way to use this object? For example, I could hold up a pencil and get suggestions like using it as a drumstick or a flag or mini flagpole, like the oar of a mini boat or a bookmark. What else have I gotten for a pencil? Oh, a back scratcher, the support of a plant stem. Oh, and of course, a way to hold up your long hair in a bun. And in just those 5 minutes or less, I got my students thinking outside the box, but it also got their attention. I got them participating and listening and smiling, and basically got their brains transitioned into focusing on what we were about to do, which was now use their pencils to do some writing. So maybe you use your day or two that you set aside this summer. Here's another idea. Maybe you use your day or two that you set aside this summer to plan out how you're going to build some relationships at the beginning of the school year. One of the things that I always recommend, and is certainly part of the classroom reset, is not just building relationships between yourself and your students, but also building peer-to-peer relationships. That's the kind of work that you can do at the beginning and then all throughout the school year that will really help establish a caring classroom culture where students want to actually be. They want to be there. And let's face it, when you have a classroom where your students want to be there, their engagement goes up, their behaviors improve, and the learning is just going to be more enjoyable. So giving yourself the opportunity to do some professional development during the summertime can really set yourself up for success, where you're not just surviving another school year. And that professional development time can be you sitting at your own kitchen table with a paper to brainstorm. Actually, I encourage you to do just that. If nothing else, set aside even just an hour. Create 3 columns on your paper. Okay, so get your paper, build it into 3 columns, and brainstorm things into the 3 columns. One column is what you want to continue to do. Another column is things you want to stop doing. And then the last column is things you want to do differently next year. And see what you come up with. If you give yourself that time to really think about those 3 categories and write some ideas down, you may come away with some really great planning for your following year. And if you really want to dig into this work a little more, sign up for some professional development where you can get the support that you want and the ideas and guidance that will help you to stretch your thinking and make this next school year the best one yet. So consider setting aside some time during the summer that won't interfere with your personal goals for yourself and your family time, but at the same time will help you to be in a place where you're entering the school year with ease. So if you're ready to do summer a little differently this year, to reset, not just recover, but to reset, I want to invite you to join me inside the Classroom Reset. This is my 6-month group coaching program that's all about helping you reclaim that calm, that connection, and the creativity in your classroom. Well, we're going to explore things like practical creative strategies to keep your students engaged, keep them excited to learn. We're going to look at dynamic classroom management tips that actually work. We're going to dive into some really great art-based activities that boost students' social emotional growth. And the best part, these approaches are going to feel natural and effortless and like second nature in your everyday teaching. That's the point. It's not about doing more. It's about resetting what you already do. This is professional development that is teacher-centered, it's restorative, and best of all, it fits into your summer life without taking it over. Honestly, this is the type of PD that you're actually going to enjoy. And remember, when you join during this first week of it ever being available, you will get in at the best price ever. So head over to theinspiredclassroom.com/reset and let's do this together. Let's make your classroom a place where learning and teaching just feels joyful again. So to remind you, those 3 things that you really want to think about implementing into your summer is to check in on your morning routine and see how you can make that a big part of your scheduled time every single day, to also set 3 big intentions for your summer, and then to map out your first week of ideas. Give yourself that one day or that couple of afternoons to really think about how you can go back to the classroom and feel at ease. You deserve a summer that feels restful and meaningful. A summer that helps you reconnect with the teacher that you wanted to be when you first started this whole journey. Not because you're prepping for burnout again, but because you're gently creating the kind of classroom and the kind of life that you're excited to walk into when the fall season comes. I hope this episode inspired you, encouraged you, or gave you a fresh idea to try. And if so, I would love for you to take a screenshot and text it to one of your teaching buddies. I'm so grateful that you landed here with me today, and it would mean the world to me if you would leave me a review over on Apple Podcast. Thanks so much for being here, and I'll catch you on the next episode. This is Elizabeth Peterson reminding you to get inspired so you can be inspiring to your students and enjoy teaching again.